In a way, U.S. Army Air Force Captain Ronald Reagan was responsible. It was on his orders that in 1945, a Hollywood Army photographer visited a California war plant and took the photographs that started Marilyn Monroe on her way. She died 20 years ago tomorrow. The official ruling, suicide. An overdose of barbiturates, they said. In a strange, some would say almost mystical way, this beautiful, vulnerable blonde has persisted in the national psyche. Jerry Bowen tries to explain why.
A kiss of the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend.
She was so blonde and so lovely, and so on that day 20 years ago, it shocked America to realize that being blonde and lovely were not enough.
They covered her up with one of those cheap cotton blankets, you know, and put her in the coroner's station wagon and drove her away. And I thought to myself, gee, you know, I think the first time in my life as a newspaperman I ever wiped a tear away from my eye.
And 20 years later, looking back over the old film clips, you would think time would have faded her, dated her. It hasn't. There, on one of her first modeling jobs, is the insecure, fatherless girl born Norma Jean Baker, brunette hair, baby fat and all. As a teenager, she discovered something remarkable happened when she stepped before a camera. Cover girl and nude model for the famous calendar shot that would scandalize America. The man who took it, Tom Kelly.
I didn't think she was beautiful or gorgeous. Well, she was gorgeous, that's a different word. But a great beauty? No. $50 was her fee.
Gee, Peggy, a girl like I almost never gets to meet really interesting men.
But to America in the 50s, the combination of sex and innocence was irresistible. Norma Jean had become Maryland, Hollywood legend.
Well, now, your picture has been on the cover of almost all popular magazines, hasn't it?
No, not the Ladies' Home Journal.
Her life became perhaps the first public soap opera of the electronic age. The publicity stunts, the marriages, Joe DiMaggio, the athlete, Arthur Miller, the intellect, and the adoring crowds. But behind it all, the depression, the affairs, the vodka, the pills, and the trips to the hospital.
Marilyn Monroe was kind of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Sometimes she was Norma Jean. All of a sudden she became Marilyn Monroe, movie star. Everything was motivated by insecurity.
The husbands left their own tributes. Miller wrote this movie, The Misfits, as a sort of parable of Marilyn's life. Filming was chaotic. Clark Gable, the father figure she idolized, would die days after these scenes were finished. And Marilyn, some say, would never recover.
What makes you so sad? I think you're the saddest girl I ever met.
DiMaggio's tribute comes 3 times a week. Red roses delivered to her crypt at a small cemetery behind a movie theater in Los Angeles. And the fans come too, each with a special memory.
Curiosity, respect, call it whatever you want. I think she's greatly missed.
Bye-bye, baby. Remember, you're my baby.
So say goodbye to Marilyn, a fascinating personality still, perhaps because people somehow still need stars that are bigger than life. And say goodbye, too, to Norma Jean. Had she lived, she would be 56. Jerry Bowen, CBS News, Hollywood.
And that's the CBS Evening News for this Wednesday.